Ferrari. Well, hopefully it starts. Is that check engine light gonna go away anytime soon? Let's go for it. Not sure, but should it be spewing out black stuff? What's going on, everybody? This is California Caldoon, and I have right behind me, I don't know if you could tell, it's a 2006 Ferrari F430, and it's yellow. And even more than that, this F430 that you're looking at right here, right now, is the replacement for my Acura NSX. I actually got rid of the NSX. I shouldn't say I got rid of it. I sold the NSX, or transferred the NSX to a new happy owner, and picked up this 2006 F430 Ferrari. That's right, I got a Ferrari. It's not in the usual red Corsa red color, but it is a yellow Ferrari, and Enzo Ferrari did like yellow. If you don't believe me, Google it. Enzo Ferrari, the creator of Ferrari, actually preferred yellow, and there's a whole story behind the original color of yellow and Ferrari racing and Italian racing, and his son Dino, and the Dinos of the Ferraris from the 60s and 70s. You can go ahead and Google all that stuff, but just know that I got the better color because it's in yellow. And not only that, I actually got this car from a Ferrari dealership, so you know it was in good condition. No CNC games here. The car is legit and was inspected by a Ferrari dealership. And according to them, this is a two-owner car, never had any paint or body work, no accidents, and it's a really great machine that would be a good introduction to somebody who is just getting their first Ferrari. Now keep in mind, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, or if I couldn't make this into like some sort of business for YouTube, I probably wouldn't invest in this car, and there's a good reason for that. Because literally 24 hours after buying it, I got a check engine light. And basically, the Ferrari stalled on me 2 times and, well, left me stranded in the street for about 2 minutes. But we'll get more on that in a second. There's a lot more to that story I want to tell you. But just take a good look at this. I mean, it's beautiful. It's yellow. It's got yellow brake calipers. It's got that lovely luster of yellow matched with that beautiful V8 red engine sitting right in the middle. And it sounds pretty good too. I'm not just saying that because it's my car or anything. It actually sounds really good, and I did fall in love with the car. I actually bought it without even driving it. I had it inspected, I had it looked at, I had it basically curated by the finest mechanic I could find, and you know, I decided to pull the trigger because I figured, well, if I don't like an F430, there must be something wrong with me, you know? Because this car is pretty much more than I deserve. Let's take a look at the interior. That way I can tell you the story about what happened. Okay, so day one, I get my Ferrari home. I'm excited to drive it. Everything's fine. Put it in the garage. Later on, the next day after work, come home, take the Ferrari out of the garage, decide to drive it, and this Ferrari F430, with all of its beautiful interior, look at these buttons, no sticky buttons here or here, carbon fiber everywhere. And did I mention like somewhere around 10,800 miles when I bought it? This car decided to stall out while I was on the phone with the salesman who sold me the car, checking on me to see if I was happy with my car. This car literally shut off on me, like just went kaput, check engine light, flashed, everything. And yeah, I had to restart it 2 times, took it home. In defense to the dealership, I mean, obviously this is a 14-year-old car. There's going to be problems. It's not a brand new Ferrari or anything. So they were actually pretty nice, and they decided to put it in a position where they would come and like actually flatbed it on a truck back to their dealership, which is 2 hours away from my house. It's not close. I mean, I literally got this car in Palm Springs and drove it all the way back to my house, which is pretty far. And to say it's kind of annoying to do that, but you know, like I wanted a vehicle that was a Ferrari product, not from CNC Motors. Didn't want to deal with any little small dealerships. Not that they're bad, but I just had a paranoia after, you know, shooting videos at CNC, dealing with CNC, meeting the owner, like, you know, all the kind of stuff that could have happened to me. I just feel like I just wanted to play it safe. I'd rather pay a premium, buy it from a dealership, buy it from someone who's inspected the car, who knows about Ferraris, who only deals in Ferraris. And well, that's the purchase I decided to make. Maybe I'll go over more on the numbers later, or on another video about what exactly this Ferrari cost and what I sold the NSX for, yada yada yada. But getting to the point, so yeah, I put this car in the garage and left it for pretty much 5 days. And when I got home from my vacation from Mexico, I left that out. I was going on vacation. That's why they didn't pick up the car. When I got home, I got a very odd smell coming from the car. And I thought it was like maybe just some tire or oil from sitting or something like that. Maybe the car was like just sitting and needed to be like aired out. So I took the car out of the garage and drove it. And while I was driving it, I got a very nice surprise. No check engine light, no other problems seemed to be happening. Just seemed like a normal day with the car. So I thought I was free and in the clear. I didn't really think anything of it until I took the car home after filling it up with gas and driving it for a day, showing it to friends, showing it to family. The next morning I open up the garage and I smell pure 100% gasoline. So the odor that I was smelling on the first day back from my vacation, which wasn't very strong, I thought could have just been like tires or chemical or something from, I don't know, you know, maybe tire shine or whatever. That was actually gas. And now my car smells like gas after driving it. So I literally just took it out here to the park, which is like less than 2 miles from my house, to make a small video because I didn't want to start up the car and have the fumes like basically just enveloping my home with gas fumes. But literally, like when you drive the car, not even 5 miles, I wish they had like smell sensors on camera so you guys could figure out just how strong the smell is. But it pretty much just smells like fresh gas coming out of the side of the car from right here. It smells like Chevron Techron or 76 gas or 91 octane, whatever you want to call it, but this car smells like it. There's a couple other little things that went wrong with my car, like the window doesn't go all the way up. You can actually stick your finger inside of here, you know, technically break and enter into this Ferrari F430. I mean, it is a used car, people. I'm not hammering on this Ferrari too bad, but the legend has it that there is possibly a fuel pump issue or some other type of issue with the car. I mean, if you want to learn about Ferraris, you're on the wrong channel. You should head over to my buddy Normal Guy Supercars channel, and he will definitely give you some insight on what could be wrong with this Ferrari. But from what I learned on YouTube and also Google and Ferrari chat, it's more than likely either the fuel pump or a rollover device or rollover sensor or rollover something that actually keeps the fuel from spilling out, and maybe it's stuck on open. I'm not too sure exactly what's going on with the car. I'm just giving you some general synapses of what I found out on Google and YouTube. So don't go in the comments telling me, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is my first Ferrari, guys. It's my first Ferrari. So just give me that. Just let me be a normal person with this car. You know, I'm not an expert on these cars. I don't race these cars. I don't know anything about these cars. You want to talk NSX? You want to talk Acuras, Hondas? I could talk to you about that. But on this, I really don't know. So getting more into the story about this car, I really like to do that today, but I don't want to waste your time with too many of these little back and forths about how it went or whatever. That'll be on another video. But for now, why don't we just take a small little drive? I'll start it up and just go over basically the Ferrari F430 experience. What do you think of that? Let's just get straight to the meat. Okay, so starting up an F430 or any of these Ferraris from this type of year in 2006, It's actually a little weird. So you got to take the Ferrari key, right? Turn it. Maybe turn it a little bit more if you want, but it doesn't start the car. You actually have to have the car in neutral, okay? You don't need your foot on the brake, but you do need to hit this engine start stop button. And you need to hold it all the way down until the car actually starts. If not, you could create like a misstart. Watch, check this out. I didn't want to purposely create a misstart just because this car is already going through a lot of issues and I don't want to create another technical issue, but trust me, like if you don't hold down this button right here, the car will short stop and then like it'll give you like an error and then the car may act weird. I mean, you just don't want to mess with these things. They're very sensitive. When I got the car at the dealership, they were telling me all kinds about crazy rules about like owning this car, like, you know, do not slam the doors, do not pull on these door handles too hard because you might break the little wire that connects the door handle and then the door handles won't work anymore. You want to be careful on how hard you pull things like the handbrake, or even like, you know, just fiddling with switches, or, you know, just pretty much just be careful with everything. The one thing that really shocked me and surprised me is that the air conditioning on this thing is like, it's super ice cold, really great, and it really cools off people, and there's a lot of vents, and I love that about this car. That really shocked me. It really, really did. And I mean, the stereo sucks, but who's in a Ferrari for a stereo? It does have that optional factory subwoofer thing right here, which it looks good, but it's not really all that great. What does make the car great is the sound. That sounds good, right? And then seeing the engine. Yeah, that's the engine. Seeing it like that, that makes it all worth it. Seeing like that engine right there, that's really good. How about some more revs? It's not bad, right? Not bad at all. Yeah. So yeah, let's take a little drive. Oh, and to put it into gear, you got to pull on this right here. We're in first gear now. Just taking a drive in the Ferrari F430. Got to shift. It does have an automatic mode, but I really don't like using it just because the shifts are very awkward and weird. You know, it drives pretty much just like a normal car, but you got to shift, and it does have a very jerky motion. Here's the window switches, by the way, right here. This is to roll up the window, the switch. And you know, just driving it off the bat, it feels really nice. It doesn't feel like you're sitting like incredibly low. I mean, the NSX felt lower than this car, but it does feel low. It does feel exotic, way more exotic than the NSX. It feels and gives you the sensation like this car is just all about the sports car experience. And I don't really know what these guys are doing here. It looks weird, but they're just like stopped dead in the street. It's like really awkward. I mean, what if I were to just crash into them with this car? Ferrari crashes into an Infiniti. I mean, that'll be all over the news. It's basically like a simple car, you know, with plush carbon fiber, a giant tachometer, a good sounding engine, and a great AC. But I mean, obviously the car is very temperamental. It broke literally in 24 hours. And I don't really want to hold it against the Ferrari. I mean, that's just what Ferraris do. And if you don't want a Ferrari, then don't get involved with one. Or if you do want a car that's a Ferrari that doesn't break, then get like a 2011 or something, you know, a little bit in the more reliable range of years. The 2006s, 7s, they're not as bad as like the early 2000s, but they're not as reliable as the new ones. A 458, I mean, could literally, I've seen some 458s with 130,000 miles on them for sale. That'll tell you something. I've never seen an F430 with 130,000 miles ever. Which, by the way, doesn't mean that they can't do it. I mean, I've just never seen one. Anyways, the Ferrari Experience is pretty cool. I mean, the horns are right here. This actually does nothing. You've got the beautiful Manatino here with the race and the sport modes and wet mode and all that good stuff. I mean, I guess technically dry mode would be sport mode, right? That's how it would work. And then, you know, coming into the lane over here, drives perfectly smooth. It's just a really fun, great feeling car. I mean, it did not disappoint me in any way as far as the way it feels or drives. We're in neutral again, going into first. You know, acceleration is good. Obviously not better than my Tesla, but very exciting. I did not buy this car for speed or to like be impressed with speed or like make anybody think I'm like, you know, this really fast car guy now. Like, I mean, obviously if you want a faster car, you can get a Mustang that'll outperform this thing. Maybe it won't look as good, or maybe to some people it'll look better, I don't know. But this car isn't known for its speed. It's just pretty much like a, I would say the equivalent of nowadays, like in a stock F430, it's more of just a cruising coupe. It's not really something that you're going to go racing around in. I'm going to check traffic here. Visibility is excellent in this car, by the way. Way better than a Lamborghini. I mean, you would not buy a Lamborghini and get this kind of visibility. Good shifts. I mean, the steering wheel feels great too. Having this carbon fiber right here really makes a big difference. Makes the car feel like newer, or something like it's something special. I can't really explain that, but it definitely does feel nice to have the carbon fiber. Driving around town, I mean, you don't really get a lot of the happy praise that you get when you own an Acura NSX. People who, you know, see you driving this car, they're not necessarily like the happiest looking people for you. I think they just think I'm a dickhead or some douchebag with a yellow Ferrari. When I drove the NSX around, people were like happy, high-fiving me, waving, pointing. Now I have people honking at me, aggressively following me from behind, tailgating. Kind of seem mad when I pull up at drive-thrus and things like that. They don't seem really happy to see me. Not like when the NSX and I used to go to the drive-thrus. It's definitely a change. Well, the tow truck arrived, so it's time to get this car on the tow truck. Yeah, so I guess the car is going right up here. Gonna be flatbedded. Literally, this is Ferrari life. Flatbeds, repairs, maintenance. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that bad. I mean, I guess it could be worse. Could always be a lot worse. Don't really know where all that leaking is coming from, but we'll find out soon enough. I'll keep you guys posted on the progress. $11,320. It's about to go up that ramp right now. You pick up any Bugattis lately?
No, I only pick up a lot of Lambos and McLarens.
Well, I bet you put McLarens on your bed more than any other car, probably, huh? They break down more?
Like breaking down? No, not breaking down. The only one that I had an issue like this with leaking gas was a Bentley. I have a feeling it's gonna be a filter. Maybe the filter came loose and it's barely leaking.
Probably. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because I said it to you on that Bentley. I told the customer, I bet you it's a filter, and it was a filter.
Hopefully.
So they gave him to the next day. It was a quick fix.
Goodbye, Ferrari. Until next time. I will see you soon. When I see you again. When I see you again. I guess the Ferrari's back. Still has an engine problem. Basically, the fuel pump is broken, but they did fix my window. There's a fuel pump.
Yeah, he said that it was loose or something. No, fuel pump, a fuel line, he said.
Fuel line?
Uh-huh. He said a fuel line was kind of loose, so it was leaking. I figured.
Wait, so you're saying they just put the fuel line back?
So fuel line, I thought he said something, a fuel line. But I don't know. He told you a filter?
Yeah, he told me the fuel pump.
Oh, the pump. Oh, okay. It's probably common because I picked up another one. Another Ferrari, a white one in Newport. And it was the same issue.
That's what I keep hearing. I called a shop and they were like, it's like basic Ferrari GED,
yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah, they said go pick up. It looks like yours, but it was all white. It was the same issue. Well, maybe the car's fixed, maybe it isn't, but when the dealer called me, they said it was the fuel pump. I guess we'll stop to take it to the mechanic to figure this whole thing out. But it looks like my car is home for now. I guess he wanted me to bring it down off the truck. Damn, this thing is hot. This steering wheel, this carbon fiber right here. Got it off the truck. So supposedly just a fuel line. That's not what the sales guy told me, but I don't know. I don't think people are communicating. We'll find out. Let me pay this bill right now. Alright, taking a little test drive around the block in the Ferrari. Trying to see if this car is actually fixed or what's going on. Short drive around. We'll look for some flames coming out of the back. I'm just kidding. We're just going around the block just to see if there's any gasoline smell coming out of the right air intake like there was before on short little drives. Hopefully not. If there is, no problem. Gonna get it fixed anyways. Let's see what happens. So last when you saw me, apparently the car was maybe already fixed. Well, it's not. So that was kind of like the last guessing thing I had in my mind. Is this car possibly returned from the dealer fixed or not? And it's not. The fresh aroma of gasoline coming out of this intake. It's like Folgers coffee in the morning, you know? You just want a fresh sniff of gasoline when you open your garage, and when you're driving you want to suck in all that good carbon monoxide while you're driving, you know? Like, for some reason, like now, the smell has gotten so bad that I'm actually getting carbon monoxide gas inside the car. So I don't really know how well that's going to work out for me, but I did come to a great place called Ferrari Technologies, and they're actually going to be hooking up the Ferrari and fixing it. As you can see, they've got a F430 in here, Testarossa on the top, and way in the front, you can see it, there's an F430, and then you've got a 308 and then an F40 sitting way in the front. So it's a great garage. They got great Google reviews, great Yelp reviews. It's been open for a while. It's a local shop in Orange County, so I think they'll be able to handle the Ferrari. It won't be done for a few days, or so they say. They might have it done earlier, but once it's completed, I'll come back, shoot another video, and hopefully the car will be all intact. I mean, looks great, except for the fuel pump issue and getting carbon monoxide inside the cabin while you're driving and the risk of blowing up. I really can't understand why the dealer chose not to fix my car. I mean, this is like a freaking fire hazard, basically, in my house and driving down the street. I could literally catch on fire
And but they did fix my window though. This wasn't going all the way up, it was kind of open, but they fixed that on the house. But then again, the only reason it was like that is because they redid the sticky buttons and the window didn't want to go up properly. So who knows. All right guys, I guess I'll see you once the car's finished. We'll come back and take a look at this. Till next time. So we're here at Ferrari Technologies right now, about to pick up the 430. And well, there's something right behind me. What is that? An F40. Don't see these every day, but check it out. It's here at Ferrari Technologies. In case you're scared to bring your Ferrari here, don't be. They've got Alfa Romeos, 308s, 348s, Testarossas, F430s. Got him wrenching right there on his 308 Ferrari. And then way back here, right past the red, we've got this mustard yellow F430, which belongs to me. And guess what? It's all fixed up and all ready to go. And I think out there we've got a, is that a BB? Or a, what is that? Yeah, it is. We've got a mythical car back there. So you guys want to see a museum car, you should come over here. Check that out. But enough about that. About to take the F430 home, all fixed up. All thanks to this Ferrari garage right here, Ferrari Technologies in orange. Guaranteed they did the best job possible. I guarantee it, guys. Trust me. Once you deal with a Ferrari dealership, you'll never want to deal with them again. All right, let's get home. Well, I can't smell any gas anymore. I mean, the car seems like it's doing fine. I mean, it was like pretty much a fire danger driving this car back to my house. I mean, I guess we're out of the woods, you know? Or maybe not, because this isn't my house. This looks like, well, it looks like hell. Or just CNC Motors, because that's where we're at right now. What's left of it. Which brings me to my next point. If you want to learn more about my Ferrari and my experience with CNC Motors, and maybe take a look around this ghost town, stay tuned for my next video, because I'm going to be talking about my F430, my experience with CNC, and also maybe just sneaking into CNC. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something, so stay tuned.